the French market is not mature enough regarding that.
Okay, that's interesting to hear because it's so important for you in order for you to optimize your ads, but also for the buyer themselves to get better leads if they want better leads.
Yeah.
I think what we try and do is provide the lead generation the tools to make sure they can generate good quality leads that convert well for their clients, and that keeps everyone happy. And you know, the difference between social or Meta and then Google is that Google's always going to be more expensive. I think a massive thing YouTube as well is going to be YouTube, and you need to kind of pick a niche. And everyone always asks me, and I'm sure you probably will on this podcast, but what's the best niche? You know, where's the niche that we can drive really cheap lead?
Hello tous, on se retrouve pour un nouvel épisode and it will be in English because we have a very special guest today, which is Darah Lynch from Leadbyte.
Yeah.
Darah, how are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm all right, Thomas. How are you?
Yeah, fine. I'm really happy to have you on board today. I will try my best to speak the best English possible.
Yeah.
So you work at Leadbyte right now. We'll of course go deeply into what you do. So Darah has just changed our life at Lead Studio since a year right now. So we are going to go deeply into that, and we'll explain why Leadbyte is just amazing. But the goal today is that we are going to try to do the lead gen playbook for everyone that is right now in the lead gen industry, wants to grow using tools like Leadbyte or other softwares, and just discuss about, okay, what's the lead gen space is looking like right now, what are the top players, how we can grow in this space, and of course the future of lead gen. So really happy to have you on board today. Darah, for those who don't know you and those who don't know Leadbyte, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Darah. I'm head of sales at Leadbyte. I wasn't always. I started off actually in the support team, probably before you were on board at that time. But that was actually 7 years ago. So I've been in supporting the lead generation space, lead sellers, lead buyers, lead brokers for 7 years now, just over. So from the support now, kind of looking into the sales teams, partnerships, and hopefully the future of the platform and the lead market. But we are a lead distribution software. We help lead sellers, lead buyers, lead brokers distribute leads more efficiently, but also kind of just manage the whole process of leads from a landing page or a form through to buyers or end users or agents or wherever it might be.
When was Leadbyte created?
I think it was around 2012.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was very early, in fact, in the lead gen space.
Yeah, I think it's obviously evolved as time goes off, as the lead gen space evolves. But so over 10 years, Leadbyte's been around the lead gen space.
You have a technical background, I guess, because if you were at the support team at the beginning.
I was, yeah. I was kind of a bit of everything at the beginning, really. Kind of support team, account management, but not necessarily a technical background, but now I guess I have.
What was your main position when you started at Leadbyte?
I would say my role was pretty much just account manager.
Okay. No, right now, but when you started, at the support
because it was a lot of a smaller team back then. So you kind of had a bit of all roles, and it was account manager with internal accounts, and that had support within there where I'd be doing API integrations, you know, that you know so well.
We're going to talk a lot about that. And today, so your role is, so you are the business developer, account manager. What are your clients? How you work with them? What's typically a week look like in your life at Leadbyte?
Yeah, okay. So the clients that we work with are mostly lead sellers, but it encompasses within that lead brokers, so people that buy and sell leads, but also lead buyers, so the end user that needs to manage all of their lead sources and bring that through and send it through to their sales team or agents or call
For those who don't know what is the difference between a lead buyers and a brokers, maybe you can just explain. We never know.
Yeah, you never know. They're the kind of the language, the personas that we use. But a lead seller for us is usually someone that uses digital marketing to drive traffic to a landing page, and from there they sell the lead on to the end buyer. Lead broker.
It's us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're a broker.
Someone similar to you. There's also then brokers who buy leads from lead sellers, and then sell that on to the buyers they have there as well. And then lead buyers are the end purchaser of the lead. They usually want to buy the lead and take it into their sales team where they'll sell a product or service such as solar or life insurance or something like that.
Okay, very interesting. And right now in your portfolio, you have more brokers, more buyers, more sellers?
I would say majority of the clients we have are lead sellers and lead brokers, but there are quite a few lead buyers there as well. But sometimes the lead buyer needs more of a CRM type solution. So where we really kind of excel is with the lead sellers and the lead brokers.
Okay, I see. Regarding the markets you have right now, because of course we are in the French market with Lead Studio, but if you have just a quick overview of all the clients you have worldwide and which clients you work with.
We've got clients all over. Clients in obviously the UK, which is where we're based, but also the US. I think a high percentage of our clients are over in the USA, which is a huge lead gen market. I'm sure we'll get onto that further down. We then have a big presence in Europe, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, and then also all the way around to Australia. So we've got clients out there and also in South Africa. So as you say, my day, it usually starts extremely early with my Australian clients and then extremely late with my US clients as well. So it's a long day at Leadbyte.
It's something that we start seeing because we have just closed some US deals, and it's like, okay, when you think the day is over with the French market, you have all the emails and the WhatsApp coming from the US. It's like, the day is never going to end at the end.
No,
but
exactly.
It's very interesting to see the differences between countries. Let's go back in history and just try to speak about how we met. In the introduction, I said that you changed the life of Lead Studio. It's very funny. Just for you to know, for the audience and people that are going to listen to this podcast. So I think a lot of players like us are not aware when they start working in the lead gen space that there are tools like Leadbyte that can really change everything operation-wise. From my experience, it's very hard in the lead gen space to understand that Leadbyte or other competitors, we're going to talk about that also, can really change everything. So, because the lead gen space is very erratic, I would say, and you never know if it's going to last or not. It changes a lot. And when we start building Lead Studio, it was like, okay, we have one offers, maybe we can sell leads to these clients, and okay, let's try to launch some campaigns, some landing pages. And of course, you just go on YouTube, things like that, and you see that there is Zapier on which you can automate things. And it's hard to have like a broad picture of, okay, if I really scale my business, I can do it with Zapier. And on our side, we have grown Lead Studio like without you during, I think, 4 years, doing just manual stuff to automatize. And the first time we speak, you remember it?
I do,
What was your impressions to see that players like us are able to do without Leadbyte and do just crazy stuff on their own? Wouldn't you think it was just crazy?
Yeah, I really would. And you say, what do I do on the day to day? And I see that on the day to day all the time. There's the things that kind of people can use these tools for, like Zapier, Google Sheets, and things like Airtable. They have these incredibly complex zaps, and I remember yours, and I think you screen shared with me on our first call, and I was just like, I can't believe that this is kind of running what he's doing here. But
it was terrible,
and I could just see from your face. I remember when we first spoke that you were kind of like so overwhelmed at that point that we were talking. You just needed something in place that would take all that stress away and just allow you to focus on what you were trying to do, which was just grow Lead Studio, right? And generate more leads of a higher quality and bring on more buyers and expand into markets. But instead you were managing zaps and trying to make sure that things were connected and leads were delivered.
But the thing is that what's really hard with our business is that we spend when we are a broker, we spend so much on the networks like Google, Meta, that the core of your business at the end is to be sure that we make some profits and all the lead we pay for are going to be sold to the clients. So it's a huge stress to just to be sure that the lead you generate is going live to the customer clients database and CRM. So yeah, it was very stressful. But if we try to have a big picture on that, why do you think there are so many players like us that, I mean, we have profitable business, I mean, it's huge businesses that are not using solution like you and are just doing crazy manual stuff, you know?
Yeah.
What's your point of view about that?
I think, I think you touched on this a little bit, but it's people will start with one client, and as you say, they don't really know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So they'll use Zapier, they'll use Google Sheets, and they'll try and do that with the one client. And then as they're trying to grow the business, they'll keep it in Zapier until it gets to a point where it's almost like, now I can't change it because I don't want to then, you know, the way that we work in this and the lead delivery and the lead generation business like yours, these tools are business critical for you, right? If you turn the tools off and they stop working, your money stops coming in. So they don't want to kind of take that apart and dismantle it and stop doing what they're doing because they know that the revenue might stop there as well. So it's that convincing of, you know, it's worth it to try and shift from what you're doing now to put the infrastructure in place, which will just make things so much easier moving forward and no more worries.
So I have two questions for you. The first one is that, so I know in my audience, there are a lot of people that are, you know, like day 1 or day 5, like, okay, they start to generate some leads for some clients, but they're like me at the beginning when I start to build lead studio, is like, I don't know where I'm going. How would you convince them to, from day 0, use a solution like Leadbyte? And how is in your team doing, I don't know, stuff to just speak with this audience and clients to make them use Leadbyte? Because I think guys who are listening to that definitely don't do this error of trying to use Zapier or Airtable. It's a nightmare at the end.
Yeah, it is. And I think to begin with, you know, you do need to know that it is going to be a business that works, right?
Yeah.
And I think that you need to make sure that you can run the ads, which you guys definitely knew what you're doing in terms of you can buy the media, you can generate the leads, and you can also have clients with appetite. If you've got those points in place, then you know that there's something solid there that you should invest in order to put the right infrastructure in place so that you can scale that business. Now, I don't think that it's a terrible thing to use Zapier at the start. Maybe not for 4 years, but definitely at the start, just to make sure that you can generate the leads, right? You've got a proof of concept. But, you know, realistically, once that concept has been proven, you need to try and shift to a lead distribution platform that is built specifically for this, which just means that you can avoid getting to the stage where it's almost too hard to try and shift from that.
And right now, your strategy is like with that kind of clients, is that a target market that you are very focusing on because you know it can grow huge, or you are only talking like to clients like us, which are profitable, have business that is running well? What's the strategy at Leadbyte, you know, to speak with this?
No, so we've got clients that will use our platform from day 1. And we have clients that will be going for 10 years and they'll start using our platform. There's a massive array of that. But I would say it's almost on a monthly basis, the more clients we bring on are usually at the starting stage anyway. Because when they get to the further on stages, it's actually very hard for them to try and shift from what they're doing because they have to turn off their revenue. So we focus on both. You know, profitable businesses such as yourself and at the stage you were at, which was perfect for us. I think, you know, if you say ICP, it was definitely you when you came to me in January. But at the start of the lead gen journey is also super important as well for us. But as long as, you know, there is the knowledge there, the people know how to buy the media, you know, they're digital marketers and they know how to bring on the clients and generate the leads and they've chosen their market, then it's a perfect point for us to then speak to them and start using our platform.
And for those who don't really understand what it's look like to work with a tool like Leadbyte, is that it's just amazing because you're able just to be much more efficient at what you do on a daily basis. It's like to connect your landing pages or what you do, the Facebook forums, things like that. You are providing like crazy documentation. Your tech team is amazing. with my operation director, I think when we talk about Leadbyte is that we have never seen such a crazily good support team that helps. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, I don't know if it's something that you really try to emphasize on with your strategy, but it's amazing, like how helpful you are.
Yeah.
You are. What about that?
It's always been the ethos and the culture of the business, really, probably set by the owner, Anthony Bergin. But it's really important for us to make sure that our clients are, number one, using the platform correctly and getting the value that we know they can get out of the platform. But number two, just to always be available for helping, because it is a business critical software. You know, it's not like something like, I don't know, you know, the other software systems out there that if it stops working or if there's a problem, nothing really affects your business that much. If Leadbyte isn't working or you haven't set it up correctly to the point that it should be, then that's your business that will be affected. So we need to be on hand to make sure that problem is solved.
And that's very true. I mean, there were some features that were missing for activity. And I know that some of my team just raised some tickets at your dev team. And it's like, okay, sure, it's a great feature. We'll try to work on it and maybe develop it in the next week. And it's fantastic. I mean, because we really have these close relationships with your team and mine, and I'm sure with all of your other clients. Like, okay, let's try to build the lead gen space in a better way.
Right.
Let's try to see, okay, what are the needs, how we can help you do your job better. Because of course, at the end, it will benefit your company. But for the lead gen space in general, I think it's really amazing to have just a good relationship that we can have with your dev team. To build a better tool and at the end just make the lead gen space grow, because in France right now when you say that you're a lead gen agency in the market we work like solar, education, energy provider, it's always like, okay, here is the next scammers, here's the next guy that will sell bad leads, things like that. And we really need to show to our clients that we are trustful. We are a trustful company, and we can deliver you with great leads and great profits.
Yeah.
I guess you've seen that.
Yeah. That's
What do you think about the lead gen, space? About that, it's like it's a shadow business, and we need to build more trust in the market.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the lead generation companies that I work with have always been generating leads that are, of high quality, and they use the platform to do that. I don't see so much of the other side of lead gen, but I know that there's a lot of lead buyers that we work with that do raise that concern. But I think what we try and do is provide the lead generation the tools to make sure they can generate good quality leads that convert well for their clients, and that keeps everyone happy. And using a platform like Leadbyte, make sure that everything is compliant from the landing page. You verifying the phone number, you verifying that the email address is correct. No profanity in the name or any other kind of nonsensical data that comes through, and then you're pushing the good stuff to the clients, and that's really what they want, right? Everyone needs leads for every business, right? Even our own. You need leads to convert into a sale, and that's what drives business growth. So lead generation is such an important part of business growth.
Yeah,
general,
for sure.
Right? For any of these industries that we've mentioned, solar and stuff. So lead generation done correctly is only going to benefit every other business that is trying to run. So,
and that's where a tool like Leadbyte is really good, because if I have to rank, I think top feature that we have right now, thanks to Leadbyte compared to Zapier, is like, okay, of course, phone number, false emails, just false lead. In fact, you have a filtering that are really good. Deduplication. It's like Zapier is not able to handle that, or Airtable. It's like crazy for you. It's with Leadbyte, it's very easy. Of course, real time lead integrations, lead selling, and all of that. Is really benefiting the market. So I can just urge anyone that is looking to use a solution using Leadbyte. Maybe we can talk a little bit about your competitors, but the lead gen market regarding lead distribution software. When I first look at the market, the first name I heard of was Leadpedia.
Yes.
I think they are very, very well developed in the US. When I was in the US, I saw them very often. What are your differences between a Leadpedia and what are the top actors, in fact, in your market?
Yeah, they would be definitely one that I would say. It's a fantastic platform. I think they've been around a very long time. I think they're very US centric, but from what they do, I think they're extremely feature dense. I think they have kind of everything that's kind of built in the one type of platform. But with that comes a very high price, I'm sure. But also that I think with so many features, it can be quite hard to move quick with a platform like that. We kind of wanted to be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more focused on just lead distribution. I know they do a lot with calls and a few other type of features, whereas we just wanted to do lead distribution extremely well. And we wanted to make sure that we had enough features that when people ask, it wasn't like we couldn't do things, but also that it be as user-friendly enough that a marketer can pick up the platform without too much support and be able to use it and be able to
really, really true. I don't have one developer guy in my team.
Right.
And it's only marketers that are using Leadbyte.
Exactly.
And I can only just agree with what you do, that it's pretty simple to use it.
Exactly, yeah, because we wanted to make sure that it was usable by people like yourself, right? Where you are trying to start and maybe spin a few plates at the same time, and it wasn't just so complicated and I don't know, feature dense that it was hard to move quick and get to market quick, and also, as you say, not have to have a developer and pay a developer's time just to even, bring on a new client and set up a new API with their CRM. You can pretty much do most of that with Leadbyte without any real developer or programming knowledge. Just with maybe a support ticket to the team and a few questions.
Some crazy API with the ping post part, which we are going to talk about. But definitely, it's really easy to use. I don't know about Leadpedia. And what are the other top competitors that you have?
Yeah, so most of them are in the US. It seems very, I guess, US centric in terms of the lead gen market or these type of solutions. We're one of the only ones in Europe, which kind of gives us a bit of an edge, especially because of the GDPR compliance and that kind of thing that would come with it with the US platforms. But there's Leadpedia. There's another one called Bobadoo, which is very similar. I think they're two of the top players, and then one of our other main competitors is obviously Zapier, Google Sheets, and Airtable. That combination, you can't disregard the fact that although it's not necessarily built to be a competitor of ours, it is one of the main things.
We still use Zapier for some parts, like for example, like for the TikTok lead form ads, we need to use Zapier to integrate with Leadbyte, and we have some automation, of course, with the Google Sheets, but it's not big competitors. Like we can use both, but when you see Zapier pricing compared to Leadbyte pricing and what you can do with Leadbyte regarding Zapier and the time you just spend on all these tools, it's really different. Which leads us to the fact that, regarding the lead gen space right now, as you have a lot of clients, what's the perfect, from your point of view, build up to really crush the lead gen industry? What do you need? And what you see your clients using to really thrive in this industry?
Okay. I think definitely focusing on somewhere where you can media buy really well. I'm sure you probably started maybe Facebook and then expanded with Google, which is really important. But investing in your own media buying and learning how to create, good converting ads, and being able to move into other, like you say, TikTok. It's great to hear that, not everyone, don't just focus on only Facebook. I think a lot of lead generators might make that mistake initially, because Facebook's quite easy to use to begin with. But, as you expand, using other channels is so important to get the right results. I think a high converting landing page is so important.
It's the go-to.
Right. And with the right form on it. I know there's a form builder you use. I'm sure we'll talk about that as a tool. But, media buying and ads is essential, I think.
The marketing part.
Right,
first.
Exactly. Being able to do that correctly, being able to drive the right traffic.
Do you have a lot of clients that are spending like crazy on Google Ads too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got some clients that are doing a lot of leads
on Google
per day, per Google native or combination or whatever.
But what you see right now across all your clients, would you say that it's Facebook, Meta that drive the more leads? Do you see the native like going down or going up? What about Google? Very curious to know about that.
Meta's probably the most used, I would say.
Okay.
TikTok's up and coming, but the thing with Google is, the difference between social or Meta and then Google is that Google's always going to be more expensive, as I'm sure you know, and for certain verticals and niches, Google is the only way to go because Facebook just won't convert for the client. So it kind of does depend on the niche, but Meta is probably the most used, and then Google's always the highest quality. It's the highest intent, and it's going to cost the most in order to generate the leads. And then Facebook's probably the kind of middle part, isn't it? Where you can if you do it right and you have the right form qualification done, which I'm sure you guys have. Then you can.
We don't use a lot of lead formats. It's more traffic redirection on our own landing pages, and then we have the form and the funnel to qualify. The lead formats on Facebook ads are like, okay, it's good because you can do a ton of leads regarding the volume part, but the quality is definitely lower. But
I've suggested with the Facebook formats, and I think it might work, is that you could use the Facebook formats because you get a lower CPL, right?
Yeah,
but obviously the quality is going to be affected. But what you can do with Leadbyte is you can also, and not just Leadbyte, you can do this with other methods, but you can use the lead format. So when that's filled in, add it into a funnel of text messages to basically have them verify with a click on a link or just a reply, whatever it might be. And then you sell those leads that are verified on. So you're using almost an SMS tool to then verify the lead and increase that quality, but you're still getting that lower CPL.
And this is something that you can do pretty easily on Leadbyte. It's something that we don't do right now. I think we should. So
there you go, learning something.
Convince me to use it right now. How does it work?
So it's we've obviously got an integration direct with Facebook lead ads.
This one is really good.
So you just add that through to a campaign that's kind of like a pre-verified campaign. You have our auto responders run on that, which just sends them a message to say, can you please click the link to verify your interest in solar, interest in saving money on your insurance or whatever it is that you've used the ad for. And then once that's verified, you can push that into your verified Leadbyte campaign, as they're called, which is
awesome.
Kind of more like a data pot, isn't it? Or a database. And then it can go out.
And everything is hosted inside Leadbyte, I guessed. Okay. No. Okay. I will have a look at that after this episode, of course. So we have Facebook, Google. What about other traffic sources like native ads? I know that in France right now, in our top vertical, native ads is going like down crazily.
Okay.
Too expensive, not working, bad lead quality. Maybe it's only in France. Maybe. I don't know about emailing or TikTok or new platforms. What do you see?
With TikTok, I think the problem that I've seen a lot of clients face is around the speed that you have to keep producing content or rehashing content on TikTok.
Okay.
Because they see a lot of trend where you start with a piece of video content and ad on TikTok and it does quite well, and then you need to refresh away, and you need to just constantly keep refreshing. So if you've got that content skill, then you can generate some good leads on TikTok. With native, I think native is something that if it's going down in France, I'm not sure I've heard the same thing, but I think that there's certain people that know really how to do native, and if you can really do native, then you can get the quality and the right price. But there's a lot to learn around the native space and how to generate leads that way.
The long run. So it's very interesting to see that native is still working well
for some clients.
Some clients.
Yeah, I think that in terms of starting out, that Facebook's probably the easiest to learn and use, and it's the lowest barrier to entry, I guess, to start generating leads, right?
Yeah.
But then the other ones are gonna, the likes of the Google, YouTube ads, I think is gonna be big moving through into YouTube. I think it's becoming one of the biggest searches, isn't it?
Okay, I remember that because we are going to talk about the US, and I have some question for you about YouTube. But first, okay, so we need to have a good media buying team, good marketing team. Then regarding the softwares and how do we just build a great lead gen company for a broker? What do you see?
Yeah, so obviously you've got to have those skills that we've discussed. Build a great landing page that converts highly. So obviously page to lead submit. And then it's all your back end, right? You need to kind of pick a niche. And everyone always asks me, and I'm sure you probably will on this podcast, but what's the best niche? You know, where's the niche that we can drive really cheap leads?
Of course.
But, you know, I think that the niche is really important that you can pick. But as long as it has a good appetite, there's a good appetite there that people need a good amount of leads, there's a good amount of search volume, you know, there's enough ads that you can try and do. Once you've picked that niche, get really good at that one niche, and then start to expand into
definitely.
other niches.
It's one advice that I will also pinpoint here is that you really need to understand the market you are working on and the psychology of your audience, what they are looking for, why would they buy or just subscribe to your offers.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot of time.
It does.
It's everyone seeing like, okay, as you said, what's the best niches to do crazy amount of money? Guys, it takes a lot of time. It's really hard. There is no easy win on this market.
No.
It's fucking hard. Maybe you can have some luck at the beginning, but if you really want to grow the business, you need to have just a clear strategy, take times.
Exactly. Right platform, right software infrastructure in place. And you know, with the niche choosing, just while we're on that, it's interesting because with the niches, like we've discussed here, you know, solar, life insurance, that kind of thing, there is high search volume and there's high demand for those leads. But with that comes really high competition. So you're going to have to be good at running the right ads in order to generate the leads against all the competition. If you found a niche that maybe there isn't that many people doing it already, the appetite might not be there either. So there's always
a reason.
Right. And it's sometimes that the industries themselves aren't used to working this type of leads. I don't know if you've seen any of this, but sometimes there might be a market where the lead buyers or the people that want the leads aren't used to working with these type of leads. So they're not doing correct follow-ups. They're not doing correct CRM management. They're not.
It's our everyday business.
You'll see this problem a lot. And, you know, that's another challenge that you need to try and overcome in terms of getting the right niche with the right buyers, that they're not just going to not really contact your leads and they'll say the lead quality is bad. But it might not be. It's just you need the right follow-up process.
That's the $1 billion question is like, okay, when your buyers and your clients accuse you like your lead are bad quality, but you have also buyers that are like, it's amazing, I want more. It's like, okay, who is lying to
exactly
at the end? But it's just that there are buyers that are just less good at just qualifying the leads and turning them into clients at the end.
Exactly.
That's a good point. When you work with buyers, how do you help them better qualify the leads that brokers can sell them?
Yeah, so where we usually come into play for a buyer is that they're working with multiple lead sources. So maybe yourself and maybe your competitors, and they're buying leads from multiple sources. They want to then push it into their one CRM, but they want to make sure they're not buying the same lead twice. It might be generated off two people. So as you mentioned, the duplication feature, they want to make sure that the phone number are valid, you know, email and that stuff. But they also want to make sure that they're managing their suppliers. They can see how many leads are coming in from each. And they can also see which is converting for them, right? Because I don't know if you use it too much, but there's our buyer feedback feature where you can actually track your sale data against then your lead sources. So you can
it's my dream that my clients just send me all the info. But on the French market, this feature is not just well developed. I've seen in the US crazy things. This would be my dream, of course, but the French market is not mature enough regarding that.
Okay, that's interesting to hear because it's so important for you in order for you to optimize your ads, but also for the buyer themselves to get better leads. If they want better leads, then they need to tell you which ones are good and which ones are bad.
The thing is that I think our clients are missing technology regarding that.
Right.
It's like, okay, so they receive all the leads, they have all their, call center that are going to call the leads, but everyone has his own software and it's really hard to extract leads. It's like Excel files and nothing is just scaled or automatized.
Right. Okay.
I don't know why, but maybe it's something that you can focus on the French market, but maybe on the European one.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we should push more of that type of content, because it is something that we can provide for lead buyers, is the platform that they can just upload the spreadsheet into there, and it will then display, all of those disposition data against the leads, and then you can just log in and hopefully try and see that.
And this is something that you do?
Yeah.
Okay, really nice. Okay, so please listen to that and use this feature, because it will just be so much easier for us just to be able to track the good campaigns, the bad one, to cut what's wrong, and to really push on what's working well. But I think we need to be more mature, the French market, regarding that.
I think it's quite similar in the UK as well. I think a lot of people use different platforms, and it's not so much fed back, but with America, as you say, they're on it on that. They've got all the
10 miles ahead.
And,
what about the landing, the forms? What do you see your clients are using right now?
We see quite a variety of forms. Hayflow, which is, I think, is what you use.
No, we don't use it.
Okay.
We try to use it, Hayflow, but first is that I think it's really nice for the US market, Hayflow. The counterpart is that it's very expensive at the beginning. It's not really easy to use, I feel.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not the best example, I think, because we start using unbounce at the beginning and Typeform, which is super easy and simple to use. And back then we weren't able to just afford like Hayflow stuff. So maybe right now I will push more toward Hayflow.
Hayflow is one that I see more in Europe.
Okay,
to be honest, and then Typeform, obviously, that's one that's used a lot. Unbounce for pages, WordPress, a lot of WordPress sites, and then Leadshook as well. I don't know if you ever used that one, but
never.
That's quite intricate that you can get with that, but we're not really. We're quite agnostic in the form builders. It really depends on, I guess, the client, how technical they are, because some form builders are a lot more technical than others, whereas some are a lot quicker to kind of just get a form that works out, link it to Leadbyte, and away you go. Some you can do a little bit more qualification in there.
I guess in your client's portfolio, so small players are using, I think, SaaS platform to generate their leads with the form builder. For your best clients, are they still using like a Typeform or Hayflow, or do they start building in-house technology?
Now it will depend, because you can generate a lot of leads on like an unbounce page with a.
It's what we do, honestly. It's like more than 1K leads per day, and we don't have any in-house technology. It's working perfectly.
But we do see a lot of clients eventually make that shift and create, but with that becomes maybe a developer that you need to take into account, and that kind of thing. And if you've got a high converting landing page without that, then there's no issue, because the page should load quickly as long as it's loading fast enough. You're not getting drop off down that form. And you're getting the right conversion stats that'll work for you. I mean, 1,000 leads a day on that. No need to change.
And are you considering, guys, at Leadbyte, to build your own forms builders, lenders that can be directly integrated into Leadbyte? What about that?
No, we partner usually with platforms instead. So there's so many form builders out there that we've even mentioned. There's no point in us trying to build something to compete with that. We have always wanted to just kind of focus on doing lead distribution and doing that incredibly well. So all of our resource and time is spent on that, and then making it easy for everyone else to integrate whatever form they use, right? So we just try and make sure that it's as easy as possible that the likes of Hayflow, Leadshook, Typeform, Jotform, whatever it might be that people use, can be connected to their lead distribution system really easily, so that they can use whatever form they want. We do have forms, but we're not kind of
something that you are
compete,
because when you look at like platform like HubSpot, for example, they were just a lead CRM at the beginning, and right now they have all the lenders, all the form builders. I'm not using HubSpot this way, but it's something that's for the customer loyalty, and then just the whole integration can be interesting. So why do you prefer to focus only on the lead distribution software and not try to expand on these parts?
It's a good question. I think And I don't know, further down the line, maybe in 5 years we will start to do that. But right now we don't want to get to a point where we're trying to spin too many plates, and you can potentially then end up doing everything
but badly.
Averagely, rather than doing one thing the best in the world, right? So that's kind of where we're looking at things. And if you make it so that, right, it's so seamless to integrate all of these tools, like we call it an integrated system approach, where you can say, I can use the best form builder that I think, I can use the best lead distribution, I can read the best attribution tracking, and it all just seamlessly links together.
Yep.
Then it's, you're also not tied into if a problem with your form builder, your lead distribution platform's fine. If someone has everything in HubSpot and they use everything and it goes down, that's the whole end-to-end.
When Leadbyte is doing that, not Leadbyte, Unbound, sorry. Sometimes the Unbound software shut down, and it's all our lenders that are down. It's like, okay, every minute that goes on and on is just money we lose.
Exactly. And, that integrated system approach then will just allow you to use the best in market that are focused on doing that thing incredibly well and just seamlessly integrate it all. And then surely that's the best.
So for you, how far are you from being just the best? Or what's the next go-to you are under developing right now to still be the best at the distribution software?
I think for us, we focus massively on what our clients want, right?
Okay.
Because you guys know the market better than we do, right? We're obviously looking at, I guess, more of a bird's eye view of the market and the process, whereas our clients are in the trenches kind of doing it.
Yeah.
So that's why as you said at the start of this, where you were kind of mentioning that, we raise a question and then, with the tech team, and they're like, that's a great idea. We'll kind of try and add that. So I think over 80% of our development is actually driven by our clients, which is when I get on calls like I did with you and you're like, can it do this? Can it do that? And it's like, it does all of this, because it's kind of built by the lead generators, the lead sellers.
But again, the first time that I've seen in my work experience, a tech support that is just this reactive and this efficient at the end. It's crazy. So it's a good point.
Yeah, but then we also have, other things that we'll be adding. I'm sure we'll get to a part in terms of what maybe new developments we have for 2025. But there's a lot of it that is driven by our clients. And then there's also, how can we expand? But the key thing in doing what we do well is just, as you say, with Unbounce going down, make sure we never go down, which we're just always up. Making sure the business runs correctly and making sure that you have everything you need as a lead seller to kind of basically make sure your leads get to the right place.
Very important. I want to ask you some question regarding the market, but from a geo point of view. What I've seen in my own experience is that so we work on like broad markets, solar, energy provider, education, and it's really tied with the global economy health.
Right.
And when there are some downturns or, of course, crazy growth, it's our world market that is growing exponentially. You work worldwide. What are the top performing countries? Except the US.
Okay.
Right now that you see.
The US.
Or maybe if we just stay in the European space.
Okay.
Because I know in UK right now it's not the best economic period. So
I mean, it's really interesting that you say that. I mean, US is so big for lead gen because there's 300 million people there that all have the same consumer habits, that all speak the same language, and that you can target all at once. Like, we have clients.
We'll go to the US after.
We'll go to the US after, but that's one thing. But with Europe, it's slightly different, isn't it? It's kind of cultures that are all similar, but slightly different. But I think it's most of the time it is usually the same industries that people are trying to generate leads in. Regulatory dependent, right? So some of the regulations in the UK around, for example, life insurance mean that you can't really generate leads in there without the right compliance and
it's the same in France
and that kind of thing. So we see a massive growth in the likes of solar and home improvements and stuff, because that's
in the UK.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I say solar, but they are getting good enough that there's not too much sun in the
of course
in England, but we are getting the solar.
Some sun in the really? It exists?
We do. But
only rain?
With solar and then roofing and stuff, because I think even in a big economic downturn, just look at COVID, right?
Yeah.
Everyone turned to home improvement for some reason. Everyone was trying to do their new roofing and add a solar panel maybe. And, you know, with a lot of the economic changes, it actually drives
new
business in certain areas. For example, you know, the energy prices that have gone up in Europe and the UK especially, which drives people to the likes of solar.
Yeah.
How can I get a lower energy bill? Well, maybe I can use solar to drive that cost down. So the lead generation industry has to be reactive to these trends.
Yeah, exactly.
With these issues and challenges that economies face, there will always be opportunity for things to grow, and lead generation is going to be the thing that supports that growth.
Exactly. So I can hear that it's doing well in the UK. Regarding Europe, do you have, except France, other country on which you have a lot of clients that are performing really well?
Yeah, it's funny that the common industry that I see across all is solar and energy. For some reason,
it's crazy.
But maybe that is because of the energy prices is all over Europe, right? Which has driven huge growth in that industry. But I see in the likes of Spain, there's a lot of health insurance there. That's a big industry there, and other insurance markets. In South Africa, we have clients there. It's a lot about like funeral cover and home insurance and pet insurance, and a lot of insurances down there. And then, Netherlands is a lot of home improvement products as well. Maybe there's a similar thing to the UK where there's a lower barrier to entry and, you can generate leads quicker there.
And your clients that are working in South Africa, United Kingdom, France, Netherlands, is there like a big player that is established, I don't know, in the UK and is just advertising worldwide, or is that every time a local player that is crushing the market? How is the space built?
Yeah, most of the time it will be a localized. However, I do see regularly where we'll have a client in the UK or France and they'll expand into other markets, right? If you can get the lead generation, down to a point where you're generating really good high quality leads, and let's use solar as an example, right? You're generating really high quality leads in France. You know how to buy media, you know how to build the landing pages, the kind of tried and tested way to do it. Then there's no reason why you can't take that, put it into the UK market, and then do the same thing that you've done there, and then you can hopefully then try and do that into other markets.
There are still some specificities I can see, because we have tried to launch like campaigns in the US. Again, we'll talk about it later. In UK, some, Spain never for the moment, but we see still that there are some specificities. Even in Belgium or in Switzerland, even if part of those countries speak French, we see that what's working in France is not working on those countries. And we really need, again, to understand, what's the target market? What's the audience?
Right.
Just the way you advertise with the copy, It's not the same terms, the same way to speak. So
I know what you mean, but maybe there's going to be, and I know we'll talk about this later, but, some kind of AI functionality where you can get it to create a similar sounding and maybe create it for the US market, review the ads in the US market and copy my type of branding and then push it I'm sure that'll happen.
In the UK. Yeah, I think it's maybe a lot of ideas because so much opportunities. Okay, so let's go in the US. I was in the US for 3 months this summer, trying to open the lead studio US markets. This country is crazy regarding the lead gen space. I think it's changed a lot right now with the new FCC ruling, all the new legislations. From your point of view, how is the US market going regarding lead gen? What do you see?
I mean, as I was kind of touching on before, the US is kind of the center for consumerism and lead generation as a whole, right? As 350 million people that all have the same consumer habits, that very similar culture, that all speak the same language, and you can advertise across that many people, right? It's a lead generation company's dream, right? As long as I can make my targeting as broad as possible, I know I'll get a lower CPL. So that is the market where you can go as broad as possible. But with that becomes massive competition. It is huge, but you're competing with so many other lead generators as well to try and
so right now you have a lot of US clients because as I said that when I was in the US, so I attended like affiliate summits, a lot of events like that. There were like crazy ads from a Ring Bar, Leadspedia. I think I saw your team too. But yeah, the market seemed like very, very competitive. How do you differentiate guys?
Yeah, the US market is quite big for us. I think about 35% of our clients are now in the US. Yeah, so we do have a decent presence out in the US. But it's hard for us to have feet on the ground like that, right? You know, all of these events, they probably have one little flight or a drive to go to these events, whereas we have to, as you know, fly in from Europe, you know, 15-hour
Takes
flight.
a lot of time.
It's hard for us to be there, but we do have a good presence over there. Maybe it's just specifically for the type of clients that we go for.
Okay.
We go for, I mean, the brokering market is huge in the USA, right? They're called aggregators. Ping post, a word that I'm sure you're familiar with now.
It's a nightmare.
These ping post exchange clients where they'll use these larger platforms, which maybe are like the likes of Leadspedia, to manage, you know, all of these suppliers and all these buyers and create this massive network where we're a lot more positioned for the guys that are using landing pages and wanting to sell into those networks, such as yourself. So maybe because we are positioned for that persona, we have a lot of success with that type of clients, and then they keep the larger scale aggregation networks, whereas we'll try and bring on the media buyers that have the landing pages, that need a distribution system, that will take leads in from the landing pages, ping out to all of their buyers, get the highest bid, do all the ping posts they need. But so it's maybe more of a persona thing, because we do command a more competitive price and a little bit quicker to market. So I think our persona is slightly different from the likes of those, and in that way we get some success.
It's not the same persona. Maybe we can do like a quick use case that's okay. So from Lead Studio is that okay? So we are performing really well in the French markets. Right. The market is as it is right now. I have some deals in the US, and you know from our discussions, like it is a nightmare to get just the setup right. So I want to share with you some problems I have, and maybe you will give me some advice how to break even in the US. The first thing is that, so for the tech part, what we need to know is that in the US, for the solar, the roofing, everything about home improvement, the go-to-market is ping posting. So it's very different, like this direct post that we have right now in France, that, okay, you generate leads and it directly goes into the client's CRM and it's sold. In the US, it's the ping, so you just ping all the clients that you have, and they will say, okay, do I want this lead or not?
Correct,
If I want it, I will attach a price that I will be ready to pay for. Then it is the bidding systems, and then you decide, Lead Studio, okay, based on all the bid that I have, I will sell these leads only to client X or client Y. So it's the ping, and then I post. The thing is that it's very hard for us when we start to play this game of the ping post, because what about when you have only one client and they say that I don't want your leads? Fuck. The tech part is a nightmare, because every client has their own specific specs and requirements. And for the home improvement, it's like the zip list, and maybe I will have like 10 buyers, but my leads will be only accepted to one buyers because it's the only zip that they work on. So right now we are kind of stuck at Lead Studio. It's like, okay, we start generating leads, and every time it gets refused and refused and refused. How can you help me?
Okay,
Darah, please.
I'll take you through this, because I think I was telling you before this podcast, actually, we recently helped an affiliate company who was just doing affiliates go into the US. And start with ping posts, and their business went from, I think, $10,000 a month to over $100,000 a month now.
It's exactly what we want
they're
to
doing. So there's a few ways that we can help you. Now, the first is, it's incredibly important how you structure what I call a buyer panel. So the buyer panel is the buyers that you have, or advanced distribution as maybe you know it in Leadbyte. But I like to break this up as retail and wholesale. So retail clients are going to be the direct installers, the guys that are going to take direct posts.
Yeah.
They might want only certain states. They might want only a certain amount of leads, smaller budgets, that kind of thing. But if you have this idea of a retail section, which is these smaller clients, and you could probably run ads for Lead Studio in America to try and bring these guys on board for you. And then the other is the wholesale market, which is incredibly important in the US, which are these aggregator networks, right? That take this ping post. Now, retail at the top. So I'm always going to try and sell the lead retail, which is going to command a higher price, lower volume. If it doesn't match them, then I want to put it to market. I'm going to put it into the wholesale, where it's going to go out to as many as I can. You want to have at least kind of 3 or 4 networks, and be part of being a Leadbyte client. I can actually help you connect to these guys.
Okay, it's what we have right now. Is that we have deal with the networks, in fact, and the wholesaler with all the ping post parts, and that's why we have trouble, in fact.
Correct. Yeah, you need,
because the price is lower and the rejection rate is higher.
Exactly.
And it's hard to build a relationship with those wholesalers at the beginning, because they have like 10 or I don't know 100 of providers, and like, okay, you are just one among the rest.
Exactly. Yeah, they just kind of give you the specs, don't they?
Yeah,
you just post it, and we'll give you a yes or no. Yeah, exactly.
Do your stuff.
That's why the panel is so important to have, because if you have just retail, it's very hard to target the whole of the US. You then have a bunch of campaigns per state. They all start competing. You have a nightmare. The wholesale allows you to go really broad in your targeting because it's going to take the overflow. But you want to make sure you're prioritizing the retail buyers over. And there are some very large installers that will take direct post. I'll be sure to tell you who they are and help you get connected up. But
it's something, not to mention name, it's, I think, like working with partners like you, like it's a teamwork. It's like you have a big network. I have a great technology to generate leads. So, I mean, I'm sure your competitors are doing the same, but it's something that is very also good to know, is that when we start working with you, it's like, okay, of course, you want to generate business. I can help you set up this API for this client because we know them very well. I have these networks. I can just, create contact with those wholesalers. So
because there's a different kind of range of wholesalers. Some will have high rejection rates, some will have lower rejection rates, and you need to have enough of them on there where you're selling the lead for hopefully profit, but at least to break even, right? At least to break even on your costs. As soon as you don't have enough on your buyer panel, you might then experience the problem that you're having, where you're not able to sell enough. There's more being rejected than is being sold in order to try.
And it's very frustrating because we know the leads are good.
Right.
It's terrible to see that they are just unsold. And we're like, we're stuck.
Yeah, it's because they're just these networks, but you need to use them in the right way, which is basically just take the overflow, right? I want to try and make sure I've got my retail, my wholesale, and then it goes to the overflow. And then if you structure it correctly in Leadbyte, it means that it will auction off to those wholesale, right? Because you need to have at least kind of 3 or 4. Then you're always going to get the best price, the best bid on the ones that you are selling. But you got to focus on getting those top retail, the direct post, the actual installers. In solar, for example, I'm using solar as an example.
Yeah, but it's the same in the home improvement space. And how do you see a player like Lead Studio is able just to speak with retailers and to sign deal with retailers? Because we are not in the US right now. Okay, I went 3 months in there, but of course, what do we need to do with that? Do we have a sales guy that is going at all the offices of those guys, or can we grab those retailers easily on, I don't know, some networks? What do you see?
Definitely, I think eventually, if the US expansion is going really well for you guys and you're generating the good leads, then having feet on the ground, some kind of satellite office there where you've got one salesperson, account manager that's going to sort out the US market. That's really good. But we've managed to do it from the UK in terms of a decent level of US expansion. So you don't need to be out there, but it's just there's a few larger direct post installers that you can get in place, which would probably solve your specific problem, and which might be the same with anyone else wanting to expand into the US, where they're large enough that they are, a good person to work with, and they'll take a good volume and they'll have a good spend. But they're not too small in terms of that you'd probably have to have feet on the ground, right? because you kind of want to have that middle ground. If it's too small of an installer, then it's just too much management. They're not taking enough leads. It'll be very hard to scale that type of model. By retailer, I don't mean those type of installers. I just mean some of the installer groups that aren't selling the lead on, but are taking a high volume of leads. The wholesalers are the guys that are going to basically take a lead and sell it on, right?
Okay. So we have a lot of work to do regarding that. And regarding the US right now, so I think the market is moving really fast. So when I was at doing my US trips, they were talking a lot about FCC ruling. Maybe you can expand a little bit about that and how you help.
Yeah, we've got a few. I don't know if you've seen our solutions yet, but we've got quite a bit on our YouTube, which explains kind of what we're doing around it. Like I'm not an attorney. I've spoke to a lot of attorneys about this, so I can't say exactly on what the law will be. I'm sure it'll change. We know when GDPR came in, I don't know if you were doing lead gen at that time, but I was around in that time when GDPR came in. There was a lot of amendments that happened to that before it actually went out. So it'd be interesting to see what more is changed before that eventually does go out. But what I'm seeing is that what the lead generator or yourself will have to do is they're going to have to basically make sure that the consumer is opting in to receive a phone call or receive messaging, whatever it might be, from that specific buyer, right? So you can't just generate the lead on the landing page, push it into your system, send it over to the buyer, right?
And bye-bye.
They have to consent to that specific buyer from what we've read. Now, there's obviously a few different ways to do this. What we've done is we've created a consent hero, basically a conversion hero type solution, which means that if you're using something like Typeform, you can just redirect to that. It will then push partial information into Leadbyte. It will locate who the buyers are that is going to match that particular lead based on the zip code, based on the state, based on other information that you might have put in, electric bill, that kind of thing for solar. It will match who those buyers are. Maybe it's one or more or whatever. And then it will display them on the page for the consumer to select one or multiple.
Okay. Amazing.
If they select multiple, and I did discuss this with an attorney I know, but then it's obviously, if they select multiple, it's either a multi-sell where it goes through to all of them, depending on what the agreement is, or obviously you can start with one of them and then it goes to the next. I don't think you can order by the price anymore. I think there's an addendum in there where you can't kind of prioritize price, but you'd have to prioritize maybe nearest to it or whatever else it might be. If it doesn't match them, then you can try the others that they've selected. If they selected one and it doesn't go to them, then I guess that'd have to go as an unsold lead based on that. But I did see a webinar, actually. I don't know if you were part of that webinar.
No.
I've forgotten what the company was called. I think it was Active Prospect that does trusted form.
Oh, yeah. It's what we are using right now.
Right. It's the verification on the form. Again, essential in America, right? You need Jonaya, I think it's called, and you need
Jonaya, and Active
Active Prospect, and I think it was a webinar they were doing, which was around...
For those who don't understand what is Jonaya or
I was going to
Active Prospect. Okay. So you will do it better than me.
You go for it because you're using it. Yeah.
For the sellers, that's okay. It's a proof that the lead you are selling to your clients has correctly just fill your form up correctly. Right. And that is just a consent. That's okay. I can testify that this lead has filled up my form. Yeah.
It's like creates a certificate, doesn't it? Where it's, and it'll have, how long they spent, whether they auto-filled the page. I think a few other things that they might have in there. But they were doing a webinar on this, and the question came up where it said, can we not just have a select all box, right? Select all buyers and then submit through. And I don't know how they exactly answered that, but that's another consideration for the one-to-one consent thing. Is it can they do that? But I was speaking to another company which is a big player in the auto insurance market in the United States, and I mentioned this to them because I was like, "What are your thoughts on this?" This is how we at Leadbyte are structuring it, which is obviously you've got your form, goes in, matches the buyers, the consumer then has to select the buyers that they want to go to. The information then goes over to the buyer. The other option is this whole select all thing. What do you think? And they were kind of saying option one, which Leadbyte is doing, is what they'll be focusing on. Option two, maybe it's a bit ambiguous, but you never know how that will affect in the market. The FCC might really crack down on that, and it might be against it, but
You'll
we'll have
know.
to see what happens. Yeah.
And right now, how do because I think it's live your solution.
Yeah.
When on the European part, when first the GDPR came out, it was like, okay, it's going to crush the conversion rate.
Right.
With all the cookie stuff, the banners, the consent, the tick box.
Right.
It's just creating so much frictions in the whole funnel. It's like it's going to crush the margin. And as we know, the margin in the lead gen space are very, very low. It's not like we have 60% of margin.
Right.
So a little change in this margin can
100%.
just crush a campaign.
Right.
What about that in the US?
The one-to-one consent will affect conversion rates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible for it not to. But with this, I also think it will increase conversion rates for the buyer, right?
So the price can go up for leads.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that what's going to happen here is, yes, it's going to crush conversion rates. It's going to reduce the amount of volume that can be generated on these landing pages. But the conversion rates will go up. I think I saw someone I follow, an influencer in the space, they did a study on this in the mortgage space.
Okay.
And they've already added the one-to-one consent as I was discussing what we are doing, lead comes in, select. And they did see a drop in conversion rates, of course, and they saw a massive increase in conversion rates for their buyers, right? So that has happened because the consumer is saying, I want to speak to these particular buyers. So when they're called, they're already expecting the call, they're already more likely to be engaged, and they want to speak with them.
I think it's obvious, but the thing is that on the paper, it looks like, okay, of course, my leads is better, so I'm going to be able to raise the price. But you know how the clients are at the end. It's like, prove me right before. So how are you going to partner with your clients for, I mean, for the brokers, like, okay, let's try to build a solution that's, of course, will deliver, again, better leads, but we'll try to reduce the friction and be sure that the conversion rate is not dropping like crazy.
Yeah.
So that the deals just keep going,
Yeah, and I think a big part of that we've been working on is the flow, right? It can't be a delay between, as soon as there's a delay between when they fill the form to then displaying the buyers, that's going to be a big problem. So we've created it to be as quick as possible so that you can use Hayflow, Typeform, whatever, and it will just redirect straight through to a consent page, and it'll have the buyers listed out, and then they can just choose and select it. And then you can customize that as well, that consent page, to try and make sure that there's the right language on there and it looks correct and they can select it. And it's
because at the end, it's also something that you can just use as a marketing tool. Right now, what we do at Lead Studio with all the cookie banners, it's also like a reinforcement to just have trust in my landing and just fill up my form. Yeah. So I think it's the same with that. Like transparency, trust, who's going to call you after.
Yeah, it's better. It's better for the consumer and it's better for the buyers in the end as well. And the lead generators, it will work out, I'm sure. Everyone was kind of very scared with the GDPR, and it's
it was the same with the FCC, I guess.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how all it plays out. I definitely think there will be further changes to it. Yeah, and it'd be interesting. I'll be following along and trying to get guidance and trying to understand what will be changing, but. As I said, what we've done is just made it very easy for you to display your buyers on the page so they can consent to the individual buyers and you can be as compliant as possible with the new rulings as we understand it anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how lead generators, because I've been speaking to a lot of US clients out there and some are very active in what they're changing and some not so much. So it's interesting to see.
It was my next question is like, regarding your clients, are they really willing to use this solution or be compliant with the FCC ruling? Or are they like, okay, it's going to be amended like a crazy amount of time. I don't want to lose time with that, and I will see. Because in GDPR, it was something like that at the beginning, like, we don't care, we'll do the stuff as we know how to do it. And then, of course, the state and the CNIL in France was like, okay, you are not GDPR compliant, and the fine were going expensively high. Exactly. What do you see in the US regarding that?
I see a lot more people trying to get things in place, I think, but there is always the split, isn't there? There's always going to be people that
are playing by the rule on that.
And I think that based on that webinar as well, there was definitely people that were more leaning towards this whole, we're going to keep the form the same, we're just going to add one checkbox, which is we consent to receive from all buyers. And they were going to go that way, and it seemed that maybe it's ambiguous, maybe it's that will still keep them compliant. We don't know until inevitably someone gets hit by a fine, which will definitely happen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So it works at the end. Okay. So we'll see. And of course, I will need to use your solution. So it will be very interesting once we finally get things correctly set up in the US to use that, because we'll need it
for sure,
on the lead studio part. So
how long have you been doing things in the US? When was it start? When was
it's
it
like
started?
okay, I've signed a lot of deals during July and August.
Okay.
And I mean, it's been 2 months that we are trying to, you know, as you explained, have a buyer panel that is wide enough to be able to break even and to sell leads, but also just to get the lead accept with the ping post part. And right now, we really try to focus more on the direct post, what I was explaining you before we start this interview. Yeah. But in our main strategy and our main goal right now is to definitely make it in the US, because as we discussed earlier, is that once you know how to generate good leads in those markets, I mean, roofing, solar, windows, bath remodel, it's something that we have right now in France. We understand the market, we know it works. Right. Our clients are very happy with that. So why not doing it in the US? And so definitely we want to push in the US. But the problem we have right now is that I'm in France, we don't have office in the US, and it's definitely at the end a different market, which is very competitive.
Yeah, very, very competitive. Yeah, but I think if you do it right, you can really be successful with these.
No, of course, but
and you've definitely got to have the right connections and partnerships.
Yeah, it takes time, and it's what we discuss is that it takes time.
It does.
I mean, it's not like, okay, you go in the US and because you know how to do leads in France, you are going to crush it in the US.
Yeah,
no, that's completely false. But so I know it takes time, and we just need to keep pushing and be able that, okay, we have first one deal that is going very well. We try to generate some profit that we are, of course, going to reinvest with you guys, with the technology, everything that you can provide us with. And of course, reinvest in A-Flow, I don't know, and hire people that will be able to get those retailers, as you explained. So, but it takes time. So I'm very confident with the fact that we are able to break even in the US.
Definitely.
I don't have a time frame.
No.
We'll just keep pushing and we'll see.
Yeah, and I think it definitely would help to get the right forms. I think that the way that forms work is slightly different out there. I'll give you some ideas.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I'm sure.
But we have seen that. And what's good right now with Google on Facebook as library is that we can see what our competitors are doing. Yeah. And I think first it creates transparency, which is good. But also for my media buyer team, it's awesome because they can see, okay, this is all they do in the US. That's the form. That's the lenders. That's the ad copy. Okay, we should be inspired by that and try to, of course, do our own stuff. But we see that it's different from France.
Very.
With crazy ads, with big text. Because in France, you're like, okay, we try to build good creative that is well crafted. In the US, it's like, boom, big offers. It's so different. It's like, and when you try to do great craft, it's not working in the US.
No, I think actually, it's a little bit. You don't have to have as much of a flow with your form as well. It can be just small form, stat form, collect the right information, boom, straight over, and then that's how you can kind of generate the volume. That's
why I want to push that, because it's just we need to reinvent ourselves doing leads in the US. So we'll see next year how it goes. But when I was in the US, I was feeling that with all that is going regarding AI, the market is really going to change and evolve. First, from Leadbyte, how do you see the AI revolution that is coming toward us? And are you planning to release some great feature with AI? I don't know in which
I would love
about
to.
that?
I think it'd be interesting. I think that what I'm going to see, or what I would predict maybe, is that now obviously one of the highest intent leads you can generate is on Google, but how quickly will that then shift to ChatGPT, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm someone that is asking ChatGPT before I go on Google.
Yeah.
right? And it will give me the suggestions, and I will go through there, and then that's kind of how
even more with Search GPT right now.
Right, exactly, yeah. And we actually, funnily enough, get a lot of our leads for us through ChatGPT. I'm using Zapier, how can I possibly solve this? Okay,
that's huge.
So a lot of the search terms will shift to that, which means that people are going to have to get better at doing their landing pages with the right SEO, with the right ranking, so that it comes up properly. And I wonder eventually where they'll say, okay, sponsored now in terms of certain questions.
Of course, they're going to monetize,
right? They'd have to,
like crazy.
And how quickly that will move to generating leads through. We've mentioned native TikTok. We talked about this. ChatGPT. Maybe that'll be the next one, and that's what I would predict in terms of the way that the shift would work. Because people almost, they don't want to use Google to try and find it anymore. They just want to ask a question and get told what to told what to
it's mind blowing. Right? It's mind blowing. With the Search GPT is really mind blowing because it just sums the information up like crazily.
100%.
Good. It's good. I mean, it's good, and you don't even need right now to go on websites.
Exactly.
So it's a problem that I was discussing in another video for the French market. It's like, but okay, if we don't go on website, we're not going to create website anymore. But those technologies are relying on the content on the website. So how are the both players going to play with each other with that?
Exactly, yeah. And how you rank against maybe some of the massive sites that have invested in everything in backlinks and all that stuff that maybe is what it's pulling from. But it will be interesting to see the leads that would be the person that cracks that first and generates leads through ChatGPT will get a lot.
The thing is that I'm not sure that it's going to be ChatGPT that is going to win it all. I think Google.
Yeah.
The thing is that Google, they have so many cash right now in the bank that they can buy everyone if they want to. So I think when they will see someone that is really going to crush the market, they are going to buy, or I don't know how they are going to do that. But I'm not afraid for them. And I think why I'm not very confident with ChatGPT is that for the moment, they are not profitable at all. It's just that investors that are investing like crazy amount of cash, but at a point, they will just want their return. And then they will need to try a way to monetize ChatGPT. And maybe the experience they are going to create is just shit.
Yes.
While Google is like, okay, I'm trying to do some stuff with AI overviews, but I don't care. I have so much cash,
Yeah, and I was listening to a different podcast, and they were saying that I think Google actually had the idea for AI ages ago, but through regulation, because they're such a big company, they didn't get it out as fast. And then ChatGPT got it out quicker. But I don't know how true that is. Obviously, don't quote me on those. But the way of monetizing obviously would be the ads, right? When you're doing a search, being able to create a chat business manager, right, where you can then push your company as the answer to a specific question. That'll be really interesting. And imagine how they could monetize that.
But I think it's an option. But what I see with Google is like, I feel that they were pretty aware of this revolution, and the fact that they released like 4 years ago Performance Max, goes in this direction. Is like on PMax right now, you are just buying signals, and I think when you will start chatting with ChatGPT or AI overview, you are not going to enter on the search bar what's the best shoes for running. It's like, okay, I love this guy, he's a top world athlete, what
shoes is he wearing?
Exactly. And what do you think for me? I run like 40k per month, is that good? And at the end you will have like this crazy chat that's put intention in the fact that okay, Thomas, the signal of Thomas that is really looking to find the best shoes. And I think at the end, Google is going to sell that. It's like keywords are out, audience are out, it's just signal. People that are chatting with my bots about, I don't know, cooking, about dress, about hotels, travel, and then push your stuff through that. And maybe through the chat, we will have like pop-ups like,
exactly, that's
do you know that ASICS have this kind of shoes or something like that?
Used by whoever. And I mean, look, Google are the kings of data, aren't they? Through the G Suite, they must have the most data on what people are talking about on Gmail and YouTube. Because I think a massive thing as well is going to be YouTube and how people search for things is what I've been understanding, So I don't know, how can I save money or
Yeah.
on my energy bill or whatever, maybe in terms of how can I get a better health insurance? Is the guides and tutorials on this, and being able to bid on that and generate leads through that would be interesting. Maybe go that way too.
So going through that, I think Google should be more afraid about like TikTok, about just Amazon ads, Amazon apps. I mean, right now for e-commerce, I think 1 people out of 3 is searching first on Amazon than on Google.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not at the head of Google, but I will put a lot of focus also to understand, okay, how can I just bring back the TikTok audience into my stuff?
Yeah.
With YouTube, I don't know, or Meta. I mean, Meta Search, Meta AI, they're going to be huge on that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather see that kind of competitor that may crush Google than ChatGPT. In fact, that for the moment, they don't have cash and they are not break even. So
and I guess for what we're doing in terms of AI and how that could be integrated, there's a lot of ideas being thrown out. I guess I'd throw the question back to you in terms of what you would like to see from Leadbyte, because obviously as a client of ours, that would make your life easier or allow you to get better profit margins.
Yeah.
And then
with AI, oh, there are lots. Where to start? First, I think from my business, something that is going to be huge when the technology is ready is AI agent.
Yes.
With the fact that, okay, I have this huge database of leads, which are, of course, hot leads and cold leads. My hot leads, I would love to have like AI agents that will, instead of my clients, call them like, okay, you are Mr. You just made a request for this kind of stuff. Is that true? Yeah. Okay. What are you looking for? And pre-qualify the lead. And then having that directly automated, I don't know, in Leadbyte, and once the lead says, okay, to the agent, yeah, I'm ready. I'm okay to change my energy bill to these providers, sell that with a fucking highly priced to my clients. So that they get rid of all their, agents with the pre-qualifying parts, and they just have the caviar of the lead. So first, it's something that I think is going to be huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Leadbyte can help with that. And then it's AI regarding all the data that you have regarding your clients. Like, okay, how can I just better monetize my leads?
Right.
Hidden nuggets in the Leadbyte stuff. Like, okay, that's maybe you can monetize these leads this way.
Like, it'd be interesting to see how you can do that. And I've also, thought about ways in terms of scoring leads, in terms of reviewing the lead that comes in and maybe pricing it differently to the buyers to put on the score that it gets. I mean, you can do that now with rule sets, but maybe being able to do something around that.
Yeah, and with the filters, I mean, the more leads with the whole clients you have, the better maybe your AI will be to spot fake leads. Just to have an AI faking leads filter would be awesome. In fact, I know this lead is fake.
Yeah, putting it into a quarantine based on, I mean, I guess, just in terms of like an extra additional verification tool to try and qualify that out, we've thought about. And we obviously have our Buster AI support agent. I don't know if you've used that.
No, not yet.
We do have that in the platform already, which...
okay, what is that?
It's basically a ChatGPT, but using all of our...
knowledge base?
Our knowledge base,
okay.
So you can go on and say, how can I do this ping post for free? And it'll help you with that. So I don't know if you've tried to do some of that stuff, but
not yet.
Yeah, it's just in the bottom right. But
but of course, this is good. And on your side, what are you planning to build with AI?
Yeah, so
if it's not too confidential, of course, because
it's not at all. It's quite difficult to try and see where AI would fit into a process in terms of. But I think around like being able to lead score, I think your qualification idea is very good. Have the lead come in, it gets qualified by an AI bot. It then can go through into the Leadbyte campaign or not, and maybe you could even try and communicate with the lead in that way to just increase the contact rates. And we've got the SMS autoresponders in there, so it would just be maybe something around that.
But the point is that I think if we just try to have a broader view about that, is that it's like with the search. Yahoo was the first, Google won it all. Yeah. For the AI part, as you said, it's like for the moment, in fact, we don't know. We don't know. The technology is not ready yet.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players that are trying to make their way, but we don't know. So I'm bullish on the long run on AI, but right now I'm not like, okay, I need to be in this space. I need to automatize things because we don't know. I prefer to see, okay, how the market is going to evolve.
Right.
Let my competitors, maybe, or other players invest like crazy and lose a ton of money and trying things up. And when we see something that is really working well, okay, this is how AI is going to change everything. And let's go like crazy on that. You see?
Yeah, because there's I've seen a lot of talk around the market about the whole way of re-engaging your database with an AI tool, right?
Yeah.
Where you can just kind of plug in all the leads that you own and then see what more you could potentially generate and push through to, if you do solar, maybe you try and push it through to roofing or anything else, as long as you've got the opt-in for the communication. But I think I see people doing that.
Yeah, and
type
for
of
the
thing.
software, it's like AI, but that you can plug your lead with, I don't know, WhatsApp, Messenger. Like, okay, you did this request like 10 days ago, 15 days ago. Was it solved? Because it's something that we see at Lead Studio is that we have clients that are just not doing their job correctly.
Right.
It's like I've sell them a good lead.
Right.
The clients just did shit with the leads, but the lead still wants to have a new roof or something like that. But I don't know that. I don't know. And if I have kind of technology that is able, of course, on consent, to just requalify the leads automatically after, I don't know, 10 days, 15 days, like, okay, what about the interaction you had with client X, Y, Z? Because I know how was that. I can get feedbacks, but the client was really nice, and of course I'm going to change my roof, or I don't know, or no, this client is really bad. Maybe he's a scammer. I don't know,
Yeah,
and it's something that, of course, will be very helpful for my team.
Yeah, and also kind of if you are getting those conversion stats, being able to kind of run a model on the data so that you can see exactly very easily where you should put your budget to get the best conversion stats, right? So if you know which campaign, I mean, you can get that from our reports, but maybe something that could package that a little bit easier.
But again, I think it's really hard to build right now.
Right.
And it takes time. So we don't have the technology. I don't know about you guys, but maybe it will come from a third party, that is really the expert in AI, is able to, I don't know, with open model.
Right.
We'll see. So that's why for the moment I try to understand how things are building up, and I'm sure we'll be able to catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's fascinating. And what I love with our market, with the Legion space, is that every year is different. Nothing is certain. I mean, I see what we were doing like in 2022, 2023, what we're doing right now, and what we may do in the next years. I know it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So even if you miss something in the next year, you can catch up on something else. And you always need to improve yourself at the end.
Yeah, and I think we're always trying to improve anyway. And we've got some good plans. I'm sure you'll ask me at some point in terms of what we wanted to develop in 2025. But as you say, we can try and predict the market and maybe what people will want then. But
we don't know. We need to explore.
Yeah.
Nice, Darah. Is there something else that you want to ask me?
Yes, I wanted to ask you, maybe moving away from AI, but what kind of features would you want from Leadbyte in the new year that isn't maybe AI, but something that because I have some ideas and maybe we can discuss that for a bit. But
so for the moment, we are very happy with the solution, for sure. We're able to deliver great leads, and it has solved a lot of our problem, which was, lead tracking, being sure that everything is correctly sell to our clients. Maybe to improve things up, dashboarding. Right now, what we do with Leadbyte is that, so we have, I was telling you that you are still using Zapier. Why? We have automatized Zapier to extract the data from Leadbyte to build our own dashboard, to be able to see the P&L, the profit, the losses, which campaign are performing correctly, badly, etc. it would have saved us a lot of time if it was directly integrated into Leadbyte, because you have all the data.
Yes.
Because the way we customize and we have just built our tracking is that we have all the campaigns, everything we need to know about the leads and its sources. So we should be able directly into Leadbyte to have our financial dashboard, you know. Maybe some integration also with the third party we use. So of course, Google, Facebook, just to have the cost and how much we spend, so that we can have at the end the real profit and loss we are able to generate. And then here come AI. It's like, hey, Thomas, it's been a week that this campaign is live and you are still losing money.
Yeah.
Cut that or improve.
And
then direct alarm to my media buyer, like, this campaign is not profitable. What are you doing, guys?
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting. I'll make sure
for the dashboarding. So it's my time. So it's my time to request. So dashboarding, data quality, everything about the financial part. In fact,
that's most important.
Yeah. Because if I'm able to just be better at what I do, of course, I will use more solution and I will expand my company. The second thing is that right now I have someone in my team that is not dedicated to, but spend a lot of time spotting errors from my media buyers into Leadbyte. Like, is there correctly regarding the fields setup? Is it working well or not? If the leads are not sold, why? Is it my problem or my team problem, or is it a buyer problem? And everything is manual. It's like every day she's looking at all the campaigns and like, oh, this lead was refused. This lead shouldn't have been refused. This one, the integration is not correctly set up. So maybe I've kind of automatic alarms like, okay, I know there are, but it's email alarms, not directly into the platform, like with notification. Like you connect to Leadbyte and it's, Thomas, you had 5 errors yesterday. Have a look at that.
Okay, that's interesting.
To be sure that we don't waste money, because sometimes, and it happens several times, because of my team mistake and my mistakes. Like we did mistakes as humans, but it's again a human that need to spot that, not Leadbyte.
Yeah.
So it can help us being just most efficient.
Okay,
be nice.
I don't know if you'll like this one, but before the end of the year, actually, because we have a client that is in home improvements in France as well. They have, I think, a couple of hundred, maybe even close to 1,000 type of tradesmen logging in.
Okay.
So we are having the buyer portal. I don't know if you use it much, but that will be in French before the end of the year. So you'll be able to do some
nice
translations on there to move towards, hopefully, having the portal translatable into different languages.
Okay.
But, the French buyer portal should be live before the end of the week. I don't know if that's interesting for you and your buyers.
Of course. But my team is perfectly English speaking. But again,
for the buyers, maybe. Yeah. Because maybe
buyers portal. Oh yeah.
You raised something earlier, which was the buyers don't really give me the information.
Yeah.
But maybe if they had a French buyer portal that they can log in and just upload their CSV file, and if you give you all of it.
Something that you need to show me again. Of course. Of course. Once it is ready in French.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if it's in English, it's over.
Exactly.
Game over.
Yeah.
Impossible.
But if you just say, look, log into here. This is my portal. Import your spreadsheet, and then all of that is in French for them. That's good for you, right?
Perfect.
And that might actually solve that problem that you had. And that will be live before the end of this year. So that's a good one for you.
You see, guys, how they are amazing. I was talking in the beginning that your customer support is amazing. What better way to show that? So it's exactly what we may need. I'm trying to see what else. But overall, I think there are the 2 main points that we may need some improvement.
Yeah.
And after... no, I think it's good. But after it's like integration, like for the TikTok forms, it's small thing, but can help us just win times.
I'll be honest, I thought we had that integration, but maybe we don't. I'll have to check, but maybe that'll be.
No, I asked your support this morning, and
did you?
It was not yet ready.
All right. Well, maybe that's something that we can revisit. But we do have a Zapier app now, I think, where you can just select Leadbyte from Zapier.
Oh, okay.
Now
So
as an app, so you don't have to do all.
Was not already at first.
all the
Okay, so
coding,
yeah, but overall it's perfect. Oh no, yeah, I had one last point is that because it's something that we may have trouble if we really expand this part is regarding the affiliate part. So we also contract with affiliates so that we buy their leads and we sell them to our clients. We have some clients for the insurance space that refuse leads based on their deduplication base, you know. If they already have the lead in their database, they don't want to buy it.
Okay.
The thing is that with the whole architecture, it's like my affiliates don't have the final buyer information in real time. They need to do another request to know if it's in my Leadbyte account, the leads was sold or not. If it would have been able to be in real time, would be great.
Are they sending the lead to you via API? If you give them API specs and they send it to you?
Yeah.
I believe we have a feature that allows you to see that.
Okay. So the problem is that show me that how to do this.
We'll be able to show you that because we have a live buyer responses that you can turn on in the campaign, and live buyer responses mean that it will give a live result. So it'll say status, success, but then it'll say status approved or rejected based on whether you sell it on.
Okay, so everything that you told me is that I've not dig enough into the whole Leadbyte.
It's a big platform.
Yeah, exactly. But you were talking about Leadspedia, which have like crazy features. I think once you have on board correctly clients like us, and you see that it's working really nice, maybe have some shout out about, hey guys, you're not using this feature, or do you know this feature is existing into Leadbyte?
Yeah.
Not to overwhelm your clients at the beginning, but once you see that start are rock and rolling right now. Yeah, just try to push to your clients all the added feature you have. Because right now we are ready to use all of that. At the beginning it was like, okay, we'll see later, let's try to use the tool.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point as well. Communication with what features may be being used.
Exactly. Just to deepen the relationships.
Good.
And and overall the rest is perfect. Definitely.
Good. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
I think it was a really nice episode. Learn a lot from you.
Hopefully, I
really love that. We'll see how things are going to evolve in 2025. Hopefully, we do a V2 like next year with the US stuff, and we're able to crush it in the US markets.
Yeah.
And it was really a pleasure to spend time with you today, Darah.
Thank you very much for having me on, Thomas.
If people are convinced about Leadbyte and they want to maybe have a demo, how do they do? They reach directly to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to probably just link. We'll have
in the description,
a landing page in the description that they'll be able to use, and they can just fill in their information. They'll speak to either myself or one of the sales teams members that'll be able to help them and see if we're right fit. Yeah. And
if they want to reach out to you directly, LinkedIn is good.
LinkedIn is good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can link my LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on there. So
sounds great. Okay, Darah. Thanks a lot for your time, and hope to see you soon again.
Yes. Thanks, Thomas.
Bye.
Bye.